You're listening to the Intercoastal Podcast, part of the Destination Marketing Podcast Network. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Intercoastal Podcast. I'm Daquan Mickens. Fripp Island Resort is a fun spot to vacation in our area, and it always feels like they have something cool going on. Joining us today to talk about Fripp is John Scappatura, the COO of Fripp Island Resorts. Welcome to the show, John.
Hey, good afternoon, Daquan. Thank you very much for having us on. We love your podcast.
Oh, great. That's always good to hear. So kind of want to get to know you, kind of get to know what's happening at Fripp. We've had some episodes about Fripp in the past, but we want new guests to know exactly what Fripp has going on. So can you tell us about yourself and your role at Fripp Island?
Fantastic. Yes. So I've been in the golf and hospitality business for over 40 years, started off as a golf professional. I was fortunate enough to work for a gentleman, Joe Guerra, back in 1990, who was the president of American Golf.
Wow.
And after going through a history working with Joe for about 26 years with a few different companies, I grew to a vice president of operations for those companies. And then back in January or December of 2022, we got a call from Joe Guerra, who's one of our owners, and Adam Fuller, another owner, saying they'd like to put the band back together and they'd like to get the team that worked together for so many years to come over and help to run Fripp Island Resort. So we were lucky enough to have myself, Tom Frost, who's our general manager, and Ken Guerra, who's our senior vice president of revenue, all came back together to help run the resort. So we started in January of last year. We took over on the 12th. So it's been an exciting run. Over the last year and a half, we spent about $4.5 million upgrading the facility. A lot of remedial things that needed to happen at the resort to bring it back to where we needed it to be and where the members and guests expected it to be. So we've gone through building by building to take care of things that the employees needed, things that would make the members happy. We've added new fun things like an arcade. We've added 2 new gift shops with a Fripp ship and a little Fripp ship. We've upgraded our nature, and the equestrian center at Camelot Farms is one of the big ones.
Yeah.
So Camelot was a great acquisition we picked up last, I think it was May, and phenomenal place. Have about 50 horses on property there, doing a great job with programming and trail rides. Haley Brown's our manager over there, and she's really taken it to another level. I think our biggest thing is programming. We've tried really hard to add a lot more programming, whether it's Nature Center, our rec department, or Camelot. And then the big one is music, trying to add more reasons for people to come out to Fripp. So in addition to what Fripp already has offered in the past with 9 pools, 7 restaurants, 3.5 miles of pristine private beach, there's so many great things to offer.
Yeah, and it's really cool to hear where you guys kind of started from, where you getting the new ownership and starting there and seeing how there's been so many changes in so little time. You guys are working hard, and it's definitely showing, especially for the locals here. We see what you guys are doing. And so I know that the visitors who are coming back yearly definitely recognize it. And then for new people coming, they might not know what the old Fripp was, but you're introducing more things for them to do.
Well, and we've had a lot of fun doing it, first of all, but we're trying to make it to where it's great for the members and the people that are on the island all year, making it great for all the locals. What a great place to come have a little staycation and go to the beach and hang out and, again, have the music, feel like you're at a resort with all the drinks and everything, even though it's so close to your normal backyard.
Yeah, Fripp is definitely a beautiful location. I actually had a friend of a friend tell me he comes down to our area all the time. And I was like, where do you go? And he was like, we go to Fripp Island. My family's been doing it for years, and we love it. He was like, you're so lucky to live there and kind of be so close to Fripp. And I was like, that's cool. And I kind of asked him, what do you do? And he's like, we golf, we go fishing.
Excellent.
And there's just so many different things. We ride the golf cart. So it's really cool to hear firsthand experience of someone tell you, hey, you have a place like that in your area. So that's really good feedback to hear.
Well, it's great for me to hear that. And the golf cart piece is so much fun. It is really a golf cart island. If you're in a car, it could take you 30 minutes to get from one end of the island to the other because there's so many people out in carts just exploring the island and having fun things to do. But we also started a new cart business this year as well. So we now have an E-Z-Go dealership on the island. So for people that want to buy a golf cart, we can sell them. We have currently about 15 brand new carts in stock and 5 used ones. So we can get anything. You can customize any one of the carts that you want. So a great E-Z-Go dealership. And then we've also started a maintenance dealership there as well. So we have 3 full-time mechanics that are doing an awesome job, can maintain any E-Z-Go's, Club Car, or Yamaha carts for you. And the beauty is, since you're on the island, we'll provide you with a loaner cart while you have your cart repaired.
Yeah. Oh, that's really
or
cool.
Upgraded.
Yeah, that's really cool to hear. When I went out to Fripp, just riding on the golf cart was just one of the experiences. You can feel the wind. It's relaxing. You pass other people on their carts. Like you said, it's a golf cart community. So it's kind of like Hilton Head with their bike trails and stuff when you pass people on the bikes and stuff. But you guys are in golf carts. It's really cool and to experience and really make it unique.
And Fripp's so natural. It's fun. You can go, you can go to the crab dock. You can go down to Wardle's Landing, which is our pier out there that goes halfway to Pritchard's Island. So there's a lot of fun things to do. You'll see people running all the time. You'll see people on hikes and walking. Again, the carts are a lot of fun. We even have scooters that we rent, so you could tour the island on a little fat scooter while you're out there as well.
Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely fun. So I wanted to ask you, was your first time coming to Beaufort and Fripp when you were invited for the golfing job? Was that your first time coming down here?
It was, as a family, we kind of grew up doing the same thing, but we went up to Wild Dunes up in Charleston. My dad would rent houses up there and all the family would get together. And there's still probably, when we go around to all of our family members' houses, the most pictures that you see from those times that were there. And so I've tried to use my experience being a guest there on what we want to deliver here. It's all about family. I mean, we see these great pictures that people send us saying, first time to Fripp, and they have 30 family members out on the beach and they've taken a family picture. Yeah. Everybody's wearing the same color shirt and they're just having a great time. Or we do these tie-dye shirts. So sometimes you'll get a family, you'll go in and they'll all do the same tie-dye shirts. So you get 20 or 30 people out on the beach with the tie-dye shirts. But I just remember that as a kid growing up. And so we try and produce something that, tries to emulate what I felt in that, it's always been one of those things where all of our family got together. So many people came in, so my family members I hadn't seen in a long time. And I think Fripp offers that. I think Fripp offers a fun place where everybody can get together. You can have a quiet day, like I said, at the crab dock. You can have a fun day at the beach, the memories that you're making. And we've got, 220 rental homes that we rent there through the Fripp Island Resort. And it's just an amazing way to get everybody together and spend quiet time. And it's not like some of the other big resorts where there's so much going on and there's so many restaurants and everything. It really is a nature island.
Yeah, I agree. It's a way to get away, but still come together.
Right. Yes, that's a great point.
It's a different way to experience vacationing. You guys do a great job of offering those main attractions as far as things to do, places to eat on the island, but then also kind of get away and feel secluded and not like, oh, I'm on a 5-star crowded beach or crowded resort. So you guys do a great job of separating the two.
Even 4th of July weekend out there, I mean, you'll have an amazing place out on the beach. It's still quiet enough and feels private. The fun one, like you said, on the golf carts too, we do a couple times a year. We'll do golf cart parades where you'll have 200 golf carts all decorated. They do a parade through the island. It's led out by the fire department, leads everybody out there. And it's just a lot of fun to see all the kids decorate, the families coming together to decorate their carts. We do judging and prizes for all those things. And there's probably 4th of July, I bet there's 4,000 people sitting on the streets watching all these carts go by. So it's such a fun event.
Yeah. So this is a kind of a question we ask all the guests who come on to the podcast. Is kind of ask them their Beaufort story. You kind of told us, your Beaufort story of how you ended up here. But what was your first impressions when you did get to Fripp or when you got to Beaufort? What went through your mind or your family's mind when you got here?
Well, we've always loved the water. We obviously have loved golf growing up in the golf business for so long. And then when you come in here and you see such a quaint little town that does amazing jobs with events and activities. I've lived in bigger towns that didn't do as good a job as you do here to really make it fun for people to come into the town and hang out. And so we just fell in love with it. My wife and I came down together. We went out and saw Fripp and we came out to Beaufort and had dinner. There's amazing restaurants downtown here. It's a short ride if you want to come into town to see some things and have some dinner. A fun, beautiful place on the boardwalk. Kilwins might be one of my favorite places in town too. I don't know.
Yes, definitely.
but it's just so beautiful. The history of all the buildings, the beauty of the water, the coolness of the bridge.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just such a unique place. And then you get out to Fripp and now again, you've got a whole nother thing with that private beach and this fun private resort. So we fell in love with it right away and told Joe we were super excited to come out.
Yeah. Well, that's good to hear. And one of the things a lot of people say is the community and everybody being so welcoming. And that's one of the things I experienced when I went to Fripp at one of the, it was a like luncheon, like day party around the pool, and everybody was just so welcoming, even the people who worked at Fripp and the people serving, and it was just a great atmosphere.
That's like, well, I definitely agree with everything in town. Like you said, we felt welcome from the day we got here, and we've got a great team at Fripp, and we've continued to add to that. In peak season, we'll have 450 employees there, and we've tried to make everything better. We're working on better benefits, we're working on better pay for everyone, and I think that makes people happier, which helps them to have that better personality to greet everybody. But the pool party, like you said, that sounds like a lot of fun. I wish I was at that one.
Yeah. I was gonna say, you guys have enough parties out there and a lot of get-togethers. The last time we had somebody on the podcast from Fripp Island was 2022. And like you said, it was a different ownership then, and now it's a new ownership group. And you said, you guys are doing so much out there. Can you explain to somebody who might have never been to Fripp before, or someone who came in 2022 and was like, "Oh, it's the same thing every year"? What's differently now in 2024 that you might want them to come back and see?
I think one of the big things is there's a refreshment of the whole island. I think people will feel that everything's been redone a little bit. One of the things that we're super cautious of is we want to keep Fripp weird, right? We don't want to make it very commercial or do things that change what Fripp is. So we've been very intentional that when we're repairing things or we're fixing things, we want it to look and feel like it did, like all these great buildings where we are today. You want it to remain classic. And so we've really tried hard to keep Fripp the way it was, but refresh everything so that what they see and feel is a little bit nicer. My owner uses a term when he went back to Disney a long time ago, and he went to one of the events there, and he said, it's the same thing that I went to back when I was at the Tiki Room when I was a kid, and 60 years later, it's the exact same thing. The speakers are better, the lighting's better, it's cleaner, the ride that you take is a little bit neater, but the overall experience is still the Tiki Hut, or it's Fripp for us.
Yeah. No.
But I think, there's lots of things like we've added new rental boats so that you can rent some nicer new boats. We have just purchased we have a Fripper 2 boat where you can go out and do sunset cruises. You can do crabbing, some fishing trips from there. And we've added a bigger boat now that we should get by the beginning of next year. That's going to allow us to take trips and bring members here to Beaufort from Fripp, and then also go to Hilton Head and some different places. So we're looking forward to the bigger ship coming in as well. We've added, again, the scooters we talked about. We've added a whole new fleet of lithium golf carts. So before, the gas carts are nice, and some places out there don't have the garages and things to store them in if you're in one of the condos or the sun suites. But so we've added these new lithium 4-seater golf carts, forward facing, really cool, easy go carts, and they're electric. So you don't get the noise that you had from the gas. So that's been a great upgrade. We've rebuilt the sandbar, where it was one of the fun bars, on the beach right there at the adult pool. That one's all been rebuilt. We've rebuilt for safety Wardle's Landing, where in the crab dock. When you walk in, we've done some remodeling at what used to be the Welcome Center back in the old days. So before, everybody used to have to check in and get their key to the house. Now everything's digital, but we still have our guest services and club team are right at the upfront Welcome Center, what used to be called the Real Estate Center. So we've moved all teams of people into there over the last few months, and we've kind of restarted and reinvigorated that Welcome Center with our Springtide Market and the Springtide Deli and Liquor Store right there.
Nice.
And then, again, like I mentioned before, the carts. And one of the biggest ones is going to be the Ocean Point Golf Course.
Yeah.
So we're starting the renovation of the golf course. We hired the Pete Dye Designs Group, and Matt and his mom have done a phenomenal job of doing the design work for the golf course. We met with them several times and met with the members to look at that overall design, make sure everybody liked it. And then we have a new guy, Jay Morris, who's Golf Course Services Group, and he's doing all the construction, and Matt's coming back, and Cynthia, his mom, again, is coming back, and they keep checking on the design. But they've done a phenomenal job, and we were fortunate enough during the storm that we didn't have any issues with the work that was already done. So we should be on schedule to open, hopefully mid-September with that new golf course. And that's a $2.5 million renovation there.
Yeah, that's huge. People come to Fripp Island for the golf. So to see you guys are putting in that much investment and that much time and effort into building what was already a PGA style golf course and making it even better is incredible for someone who loves golf. Even for those who don't love golf, to want to experience that and kind of see the change that Fripp Island is going through. You guys are doing a ton out there, and I'm sure everyone appreciates it because it not only benefits you guys, it benefits the area, it benefits the people who are coming back year after year, and then it benefits the people who haven't been there before, and they're like, oh wow, now you raise expectations of this is what Fripp is. This is Fripp. So now, like you said, you don't want to go to a Florida place in Panama City and then go to a place in Florida in Orlando and it's the exact same experience. You guys want to change it up and give someone a reason. Hey, this is why we want to come back year after year, because we're doing something different, or it's that same family vacation with a little twist.
And there's so many neat things. Like, if you look at Ocean Point Golf Course, there's 6 holes that are on the water, on the ocean. You just don't get that in many places across the world. And then a lot of the things that they did was to clean up some view corridors. So trees that had overgrown over the last 30 years. And we've cleaned those up. So now there's some holes where you actually see the ocean and you see Hunting Island that you didn't get to see before. So that's been really neat. And reshaping the bunkers. One of the things that the Dye Designs group did so well was we didn't have the original plans of the golf course, but they went and visited George Cobb courses, and he was the original designer of the course. They visited courses that were designed by him that they could find plans, and they used those plans to help, again, not redesign into some new thing, but bring it back to what it was supposed to be, back in the original days. So it's going to be a showpiece when it's all done.
I was going to say, I can't imagine, because when I went out there to visit and saw it, it was already a beautiful landscape and just amazing golf course. So I can't even imagine how you improve on beautiful. So I'm sure you guys are doing a great job. So on Saturday, August 17th, Fripp Island is hosting a Motown concert featuring Deas-Guyz. What do people need to know about this concert before signing up?
Well, it's amazing. I think everybody in Beaufort and the surrounding areas and people that travel here know this band. I mean, they're such a fun band. And so that whole weekend, we have our Motown weekend. If you rent through the Fripp Island Resort, we include tickets for everybody in your family to go to the concert. If not, you can go to the Fripp Island Resort website and you can purchase tickets there. But we're looking forward to a fun weekend. And again, from everyone knows that these guys from their performances here, it's an amazing band. It's going to be such a fun weekend.
Yeah, it is. Like you said, everyone loves Deas-Guyz. And just to clarify, since Fripp is a private island and you said people staying there will get free tickets, but you don't have to stay there in order to go to the concert, correct?
No, correct. To get to the concert, you can just go to the website and purchase tickets there as well. Yes.
Oh, yeah. That sounds great. Sounds like it's going to be a great time. And hopefully I can get out there and experience it. And we're looking forward to seeing how that performs.
We're going to hold you to that. We need you out there.
Tell us about your partnership with Camelot Farms. You mentioned you guys acquired Camelot Farms. We did have a Camelot Farms episode once again years ago. Could you tell us what makes it so special?
Camelot's unique when you get back there and you're tucked back in the woods and you've got this, there's a training center where they do lessons and they teach kids and adults how to ride horses. They take care of all the horses out there and keep them in the barn that's there. And then the best part is the programming. So we have tour rides and trail rides that go on throughout the week. And there are trail rides where they take you for an hour around the whole horse farm. And that's a blast. And for people that are beginner riders, that's an hour's a lot.
Yeah.
And then we also have the rides where we take them down to the beach. And so there's what an experience. Where else can you take a horse and ride with your family on the beach, get some great pictures and see all that the scenery in this area has to offer.
Yeah. And that's really cool because you kind of get the best of both worlds. Someone who's new to horse riding. I remember my first time on a horse and it's exhilarating and you're like, oh my God, I'm on a horse versus someone who's professionally trained and who competes on horses, something like that. You can get the best of both worlds from vacationing, who's used to horses, and you can rent horses and kind of just enjoy with kids and family. So like you said, you get the best of both worlds. You get everybody from all spectrums.
Great birthday parties and fun events there as well. But like you said, if you're up for it, Haley will teach you how to jump.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna pass on the jumping, but I'll definitely take a sunset ride calmly on the beach.
That sounds perfect.
You can't get that anywhere where you can just ride a horse on the beach and the sun setting behind you. It's just a lovely atmosphere.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Well, this has been a great episode, John. Thanks for coming on the episode and being a part of it and explaining what's new at Fripp, especially being a part of the new ownership group, and kind of tell the guests who are coming to the area what changes to expect and are currently happening. But before we go, could you tell people where they can purchase the Motown weekend tickets and where they can book future trips out to Fripp Island?
Absolutely. If you go to FrippIslandResort.com, our website can handle everything for you. And again, Daquan, we're so excited to be on the podcast today. Excited to tell the local people to come on over and see us. And for people that are looking to travel, what an amazing area it is, both here in Beaufort and out at Fripp.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
No problem. And like you said, Fripp Island is an amazing place to go visit. Whether you live here, whether you're not even staying out there, if you can get out to Fripp, it's an amazing location. So thank you all for listening to the Intercoastal Podcast. You can follow us on social media at visit_BeaufortSC on Instagram or at BeaufortSC on Facebook. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a review. We'll talk to y'all next time. This has been another episode of the Intercoastal Podcast, hosted by Daquan Mickens and the team at Visit Beaufort, Port Royal, and the Sea Islands. Produced by Relic.